Hey everyone, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back with another video. And the end of really the CW TV show premieres is finally concluded with Arrow. So man, was that one hell of an episode. Um, Quick update. I'm actually doing this before I do my Flash review because it's better to do this review when everything's morally intact for memory wise. But this video will be uploaded tomorrow tomorrow because I don't want to do a double upload with Flash and Arrow because technically both episodes tonight were pretty big in their own part. But anyways, I'm here to talk about Arrow, the final season. Arrow season 8, episode 1. And this was a doozy episode. This episode gave me, my goodness, season 1 vibes, and things were a little bit different, but man, it was one hell of an episode. So I did my notes like I did with Supergirl. So, I'm going to be basically, talking about what I saw, what basically my notes are going over, and things that, really I thought were intrigued. I thought this episode was pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, I saw no faults with this episode. I was severely entertained throughout this episode for the most part. There was no like issue I had with this episode at all. And like I said earlier, this episode was kind of like a whole, you know, mini recap of events from season one. So I guess we can start with the one factor is, the episode starts off with Oliver back on Lee and Yu. Um, so an interesting tidbit we did when they were on when he before he got rescued. Um, Instead of the with the wooden pike where it had Deathstroke's mask on it, instead of that, it was Batman's cowl. So I'm like, okay, things are different. I don't know if this is some alternate reality or some other thing. Now we're later revealed through the monitor that he was sent, or even halfway through the episode before we come across a monitor, in this episode, is that we are on Black Siren's Earth. You know, or really, I'll say Laurel's Earth, but I'll just say Black Siren so we don't confuse Laurel with, the Laurel on, Oliver's Earth. But you know, we're on Black Siren's Earth. So he's basically Oliver's basically reliving everything he's already been through. Just he's on a different completely Earth. And the reason why he's here is he has to get the Dwarf Star project for the monitor. Um so obviously this will probably have some tie-ins to the Crisis and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyways, like I was saying, this episode was basically a mini recap of the entire plotline of season 1. And there was many key differences through this like episode. One of them is Walter, if you remember, who was the black guy who was basically married to Moira Queen, Oliver's mom. You know, instead of that happening, um, you know, she basically explains like he took his half of his shares and just basically dipped. And this time, really, it's kind of now full into fruition. Is that Malcolm Merlyn and Moira got together. It wasn't like how on Oliver's Earth where they had like basically a secret affair and stuff like that. So yeah, that was I guess a one difference in stuff like that because when Oliver first got home, it was Moira and Walter instead of her and Malcolm. Because when Malcolm walked in, I was like, wait a second, hold the phone on, Malcolm already? And even Oliver had that face like, what the hell's going on here? So technically that made it mean, and Tommy makes another appearance, and it's always good to see the actor that plays Tommy. I thought he did a very phenomenal job in this episode tonight. Um, you know, really good job done by his actor. But also we get another revelation of another different change. Because we all know that Willa Holland, last season, was making her last Arrow appearance, basically. Now, I still think she's going. Willa Holland, the actor who plays Thea Queen, she's going to come back at some point, probably during the Crisis event. I think they're keeping that under wraps because I think it would be honest to goodness, you know, sadness if she didn't make an appearance in either the final Arrow episode or even the Crisis event, even the Crisis crossover. I think she's gonna appear in one of those. But basically, because Willa Holland's not, on the show anymore, really, they kind of writ her out pretty smartly. And if you remember that drug back all the way back in like, the early seasons of Arrow, Vertigo, they basically explain it that basically Thea's dead because she overdosed. And the moment they were like, Aaron Oliver was asking like, where's Thea? And I'm like, well, obviously she's not here. She probably died because, like I said, Willa Holland is not, um, you know, doesn't really do Arrow anymore. So with the moment they brought up the drug Vertigo, I was like, she overdosed, and they basically confirmed it. And yeah, Thea overdosed, and it was basically the main reason to why Tommy Merlyn, um, well, I guess you can say Tommy Merlyn, Queen, whatever. They're kind of stepbrothers, but you know, this is the main reason why Tommy Merlyn, who instead of Malcolm Merlyn being the Dark Archer from season one, it's Tommy that's the Dark Archer in this on Laurel's Earth, or Black Siren's Earth. So things are like relatively different than this from the Earth we've been on for the past 7 seasons. Um, you know, basically his deal is he wants to get revenge on the Glades because basically their main reason why Thea was killed, and basically that's why he, tries to do basically the undertaking. Like I said, another callback from season one, and basically tries to take out the Glades to basically get revenge on for Thea. At the end of that fight, there was a very nice speech by Oliver and stuff like that, and it was a pretty powerful and emotional one at best. And like I said, Stephen Amell, he's A+ at his acting. His acting is phenomenal. Um, you know, Stuff like that. Another reason, another change is, the Hood when it was called before he was called, the Green Arrow. Um, Man, I cannot believe they do it, but on Black Siren's Earth, the Hood is Adrian Chase. And when he pulled that hood down, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." he's he's just that one villain that keeps reoccurring again and again and again. And I'm like, really? Adrian Chase. So basically, Black Siren and Adrian Chase were working together like a two-man team, and it's funny because Diggle, he's in this episode too, and he's like, he's like Adrian Chase is like Felicity, you and Kurt is all mixed into one. I found that that's so funny and stuff like that, and they're kind of like a two-man team. It was good to see the actor that plays Adrian Chase, even though he didn't have a big role, but it was always fun when they had those comedic lines, like when they both said "suit up" and stuff like that. And then I forgot the line he said, but it was like one of the, or no, it was when Oliver was like, "Yeah, like I'm always 10 steps ahead of you," and it was like a callback line to season 5 and stuff like that. And man, it was good to see Adrian Chase again, even if he was pretending to be the Green Arrow. This is why I say I have no faults with this episode. This episode was great. It was a great way to kick off season 8, and man, I cannot wait to see other people's reactions to this because my goodness, that's the one thing I do like doing is going on YouTube and watching some YouTubers' reactions to some of these episodes and stuff like that. So, um, basically, another thing is, you know, um, or how can I say this? He was basically, like I said earlier, Oliver was sent to through the monitor was sent to Black Siren's Earth and basically put back on Leon Yu and stuff like that. And really, yeah. And like I said, Diggle, he also made an appearance, but it's not a Diggle from you know the same exact Earth Black Siren's from. Actually, Diggle came from you know. Hold on, guys. Hello. Yeah, what's up? sorry guys for that interruption, but yeah. Anyways, you know, um basically Diggle came to basically Black Saren's Earth, thanks to Cisco giving him, the device where you can traverse multiple Earths and stuff like that. And basically, the tail end was basically their little conflict between, Oliver and Diggle was basically Oliver saying like, I can't afford to lose people because of certain things and stuff like that. And it was a pretty, little interesting dynamic. So it looking like Diggle for now is going to help Oliver on this quest till basically the crisis on Infinite Earths, you know, event happening, crossover and stuff like that. So yeah, we also do get some future, I guess, future scenes dealing with, Thea. I mean not Thea, Mia, William, you know, um, Renee's daughter and Diggle's adoptive son. So basically, you know, we now run into JJ and the Deathstroke gang. And basically that was kind of what that little side story was basically, about. I will, to be honest, I am probably predicting that I don't know if they'll do it like straight on, like right after Arrow season 8 happens, but I think maybe they take a good year or two off. They might come back with, a full out season for this future, Team Arrow going around, I guess, the sons and daughters of the past Team Arrow. You know, it was interesting from that side plot because um I remember when JJ's brother walks in and stuff like that, and oh, and also sorry that I don't know JJ's brother's name. I'll get that by next episode. It's been so long since I've seen it, but it's funny because when he scrolled in there, he was like, "Hey JJ, what's up?" And JJ looks at him and is like, "Kill him." And I was like, "Well, dang, that's cold blooded. You're gonna say that to your own adoptive brother? Technically brother, but adoptive brother, and stuff like that." JJ and Mia had a little mini fight. So I found it pretty ironic that you know the daughter of Oliver Queen is fighting the son, the true son of Diggle. I'm John Diggle. So man, when it though would John and frickin' Oliver be like, "What the hell's you guys doing?" and stuff like that. So yeah, basically that fight was pretty one-sided. JJ basically beat the hell out of Mia. Yeah, gave her a good little freaking scar in the face, and then that kind of ends off where Mia's basically telling, you know, JJ's brother, like, look, we're doing things my way now, and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool that Mia was using, I guess, Oliver's, bow and arrows, and I guess wearing a somewhat replica costume or somewhat similar costume to what Oliver typically wears. So that was pretty cool that she's basically taken after her father. So, and that's funny because I was watching the episode and I'm like, man, like father, like daughter, even though it's somewhat, you know, different instead of saying father like son. But yeah, basically the future Team Arrow is, really William's basically Felicity. Mia's basically like Oliver. You know, Renee's daughter is basically like, Renee, basically in an extent like Renee, Dinah, basically combined, and then, um, Diggle's son is basically, like him, basically, and that's kind of it. They're also still keeping the little shipping moments between him and Mia, so I'm obviously calling it at one point they're gonna have that one kiss because you know what's gonna happen. It's obviously gonna happen because they've been teasing it from when they introduced these scenes from like, last season that they're gonna probably hook up and stuff like that. So other than that, the episode ends off shockingly when, they do have, the Door Star project. They're about to leave the Earth, about to leave Black Siren's Earth. All of a sudden, um, Laurel comes in to the police headquarters after basically Oliver says goodbye to Moira one last time because he knows he's never gonna see her again and stuff like that. And we know how big Moira was in Oliver's life and stuff like that. But all of a sudden we see this red tint, and I'm like, what is going on here? At first, I'm not like, hold up, there's another threat that's threatening the city. And now I haven't did my review of the Flash, but if you saw the Flash episode before this came on, it's kind of much more of an understanding. So there's like this red, like, you know, thin atmosphere kind of pressure thing, and all it does is like it disintegrates people. Like basically does pulls out a full on Thanos or Avengers Infinity War Thanos snap, where people just turn into straight up dust, and they're just turning dust once they get in contact with this thing. And Oliver's watching not only Moira happen to Moira, but she saw Tommy, and they had to get out of there. And in the next episode preview, it's basically explained that Black Siren's Earth is gone. It's completely destroyed. It's gone. So that Earth is gone. So that means the Crisis on Infinite Earths stuff, the Anti-Monitor's things going on right now, his shenanigans are going on right now. It's starting now. It's already starting at the end. He's already taking out Earths. And man, that was some type of cliffhanger. That was one type of cliffhanger. Because I saw that, I was like, you're not. I'm like, you're lying. You're not. They're not starting this. They're not ending this episode, and they're not doing this already. So, is it gonna be like after every Arrow episode this season, leading up to the Crisis event? Is that's gonna happen at the every end of the episode? Earth getting destroyed. I guess so. Maybe we'll find out next week. So you know, it was a very good episode, if you ask me. I'm a very honestly now looking at it, I think Arrow had the best premiere out of all the CW TV shows. And if you ask me, it deserves a 10 out of 10. This episode had so many callbacks with so many little differences in between of these callbacks and stuff like that. It was just an overall great episode. I guess you can say, well, maybe the future scenes didn't really do it all that well, but I thought the future scenes were all right. But I still think this episode is a 10 out of 10. It's a great premiere and a great way to kick off the final season of Arrow. It was just had so much heart and so much emotion and so many good moments where you can actually where you actually think like, it's funny. I saw a tweet and like, I never thought I'd actually be laughing and smiling more at this premiere than me being depressed and crying and sad. That's what I felt this episode. Now maybe that will happen in the final episode of Arrow because this is a 10 episode season. So episode 1 is in the books, and really, we'll just have to wait next week for episode 2. So like I said, I will be uploading this video tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning, or sometime or tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, one of those times. Tomorrow, yeah, it's probably gonna be tomorrow morning. I'll probably upload at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I guess for Pacific Standard Time people, the least you'll get is 9 o'clock. But yeah. So this was a really good episode, and I can't wait for next week's episode. I'm actually hyped. And if you ask me, I think all the CW DC TV shows are doing pretty well. Now I think I'll make a retrospective of what Batwoman is, how is that doing after I guess what gets to the crossover, because I've actually heard some different reviews about that saying that Batwoman's not all that, but I'm actually liking Batwoman. I think everyone should give that show a chance. I'm still thinking the reason why people are hating on Batwoman is mostly because the trailer that came out. But like I said, it's to each his own. Everyone has their own opinions. So whatever. I'll probably do that when we get to the crossover and my thoughts on that show. But other than that, it was a really good episode for Arrow tonight, and I can't wait for next week. So anyways, if you like this video, leave a like. If you have something in the comment section you want to put down regarding this episode, go right ahead. I'd also like to hear what you thought about this episode and where you might rank this. And then if you want more Arrow Season 8 content for, I guess, a short time, hit that subscribe button. and you can get Arrow as well as get the other well, really Supergirl and the Flash, since they're the main ones. But you can get those reviews too. Supergirl goes up every Sunday night, and Flash goes up every Tuesday night. Other than that, that's really it. So till then, this has been Camper 15. I'm signing out. You guys have a great night.